Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, today we are talking about Naomi, the newest Arrowverse series, which we technically don't even know if it actually is an official Arrowverse series, because yes, it is based off the DC Comics character Naomi, but this is something that takes place on a whole nother world. We're not just talking about like, oh, it's a different universe and like it's a different world as a part of the Arrowverse. This takes place on a world where Superman and superheroes are all comic book characters. So realistically, this basically takes place in a world similar to our real life world. And I'll be honest, going into this, I didn't really know much about the character of Naomi, so it is kind of a new experience for me, getting to know this character, and I think that actually makes part of this journey really fun, is getting to know this character, and especially not having that preconceived notion of who this character is, and like having expectations and everything, because I don't really have any expectations for this character. I'm just excited to see how she's portrayed in this series, and now we have that with the pilot episode, the series premiere on the CW, which just aired after the season 2 premiere of Superman and Lois, which you haven't already. Definitely check out my review and breakdown for that season premiere as well. But for now, we're going to be talking about Naomi. We're going to be talking full spoilers for this first episode of Naomi. Of course, you can let me know your thoughts in the comments below on what you thought of the premiere of Naomi. And without further ado, let's jump into this. So, the episode pretty much just starts off with basically introducing us to the character of Naomi. Who is Naomi? Well, of course, she's in high school. We actually start off with her at a high school party. And she is, of course, a huge fan of Superman, which, again, in this world is a comic book character, just like in our real-life world. So, she actually is such a huge fan of Superman that she runs a Superman fan page website thing. So, she's in love with Superman, and one of the biggest reasons for that is because she can relate to the fact that they're both adopted, and that love for Superman is kind of the drive of the series and really what gets things going with our main storyline of this episode. And we also find out that she like her dad is in the military, she skateboards to school, so we just get a little bit, just get to know the character of Naomi in the first couple scenes here of this episode. But then we get right into it with the action stuff, with Superman-related stuff, because at one point Naomi is in class when she gets this crazy notification on her phone that there's something Superman-related going on outside. So, of course, because she runs this Superman fan website, she has to go out there and report on it. And when she gets out there, she actually, like, faints and falls to the ground. And as she is, like, passing out, she looks up into the sky and she sees Superman fly by, and we never actually see Superman, at least Superman's like face in this episode, so we have no idea like what version of Superman it is. I mean, it looks pretty similar and could be Tyler Hoechlin's Superman from Superman and Lois. We don't know for sure, but she sees Superman and then she passes out, and when she wakes up she starts interviewing all the people around, asking what they saw. They said Superman was fighting this blue guy, which I mean, I don't really know who that could be. Like, I can't really think of any Superman villains that are blue. I mean, you've got Parasite, he's purple, so I guess that could be it, but we don't really have any details there. So Superman was fighting a blue guy, and basically everybody thinks that it's a stunt. Like, it's not real, it's not the real Superman. Of course, we know that that is actually the real Superman, there's real superpowers and everything going on here, but to them, again, superpowers and Superman, that's just comic book made up stuff, so it can't be real. But as we find out later, it is very real. So Naomi, of course, starts doing some investigating, because that's going to be a big part of her character. She's kind of a detective. That's going to be a really cool element of the series. I love mysteries, so I love that that's going to be an element played out here. And so she starts doing her investigation, and she actually checks the security cameras, and she notices a character by the name of D, who works at a tattoo shop. He like runs the place and everything. So she goes to confront him and ask him what he knows, because in the security camera footage, it looked like he knew Superman. So she asks him, and he basically admits to it, being like, oh yeah, it was just a stunt, I did it, it was all me, I hired a guy with a jetpack and all this stuff. So they think like, case closed, that's it, tattoo guy, he just, you know, pulled a stunt of like, oh, Superman, like all that stuff. So then after this, it's like, oh, life just goes on. Naomi, her parents actually give her a car to celebrate her win with the whole Superman thing, and, you know, getting to the bottom of it being D, but she's still kind of suspicious about him because it's just weird. Like, their whole conversation was really weird. Like, how did he know about her adoption day? How did he, why was he surprised to see that she was wearing glasses? So there's definitely something shady going on with this character, and literally in that conversation he said something about, like, he said, I'm not lying, and literally as soon as he said that, I was like, yeah, no, I don't trust you, and there's a good reason not to trust him, because, you know, the reveal at the end of the episode. But after this, Naomi passes out again while at the military base, and when she wakes up, she realizes that she has super eyesight. So throughout this episode, she's starting to kind of unlock some different various superpowers. And again, I don't really know the character from the comics, so I don't know how many superpowers she has, what extent she has them, and all that stuff. But I guess we'll be finding out together. And so after this, she goes out in the forest and has this disc thing that she found, and then is confronted by a character by the name of Zumbado, which first of all is just really weird, crazy name, but also a cool name at the same time. And he has superpowers, so she's super freaked out by that, like, oh wow, you actually have superpowers. And he ends up stealing this disc from her, so it's like, oh great, that was a loss right there. So then she decides to assemble the squad of her friends from high school, and they go to steal the disc back. Of course, unfortunately, it doesn't end up happening. They break in, find a safe, can't open it. Zumbado returns, so they escape and they make it out safe and everything, but nothing ever, like, they never get the disc back or anything like that. So maybe they'll get it back next episode or some other point in the series, and I'm excited to see the importance of that disc, like what those different symbols mean and stuff. But after this, she returns to talk to Dee, and this is where he reveals himself to have these crazy wings that pop out of his back. They look almost mechanical, and I believe this means that he is a Thanagarian, or Thanagarian, I don't know the exact pronunciation. But if you're a DC fan, then obviously you know that Thanagarians are the species of Hawkman and Hawkgirl, who we have seen previously in the Arrowverse on DC's Legends Tomorrow, and now we're seeing another Thanagarian here with Dee. And again, of course, because Naomi and all these characters think that all these superheroes and, you know, superpowers are just in comic books and it's all made up and stuff, she's like super freaked out and super surprised by this. So of course she has all these questions to ask. So then something he keeps saying throughout this episode is that you're asking the wrong questions. So then she realizes the question is, who am I? Because she's asking, who are you? But who am I? And that is where the episode ends. And that's, of course, going to be the big thing in this series is, who am I? Who am I? And we actually see in the promo for next week's episode that something about apparently Dee's going to tell her that she's like an alien from space or something like that. So again, I don't know much about the character, so I'm definitely interested and excited to find out more about her, more about her powers, how she even got her powers, because it was kind of just a weird random thing here that she just all of a sudden had her powers, she started passing out, and like, it wasn't completely clear. Maybe they'll explain that further in other episodes, but so far I think it's a solid start. You know, there were some parts to it that were slow, but I'm willing to give it a go. You know, when this was first announced, I was like, oh, that's a terrible idea, I don't know anything about this character, but you know what, I mean, like, so far I'm like Naomi, and we'll see where this goes. So you can let me know your thoughts in the comments below, guys. What do you think about the series premiere of Naomi? Do you want to see me continue doing weekly episode reviews and breakdowns for this series? I'm not completely sure if I will. So if you want me to, then definitely show your support in the comments below. But for now, guys, stay tuned and remember to check out all my other reviews for Superman and Lois and Peacemaker coming up, Batwoman, Legends Tomorrow, all the good stuff. Stay tuned for that. But for now, thanks so much for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video and hit the subscribe button so I can keep you up to date on everything that goes on in the DC life.